Hi everybody, this is Firefighter Sarah, and my friends at the Cloquet Public Library asked me if I could read a story to everybody. So today I'm going to read a story called No Dragons for Tea. So this is one of my favorite stories, and I read this to a lot of the schools when I go and visit the kids. So let's get started. One warm sunny day at the end of last week, my mom and I went for a walk to the creek. As I raced down the hill in my little red wagon, a little girl here riding in her wagon, I veered to the left and smacked right into a dragon. I suppose he could see there was fear in my eyes as I jumped to my feet, quite filled with surprise. He sheepishly grinned and stepped out of the way, but he seemed so polite, I asked him to play. It's a big dragon. He had a cute bear and some other toys too. With my shovel and pail, we had oodles to do. We ran to the creek and then to the bay, where we played on the beach for the rest of the day. My mom waved and said, "Now it's time to go eat. Let's pack the red wagon and head up the street." It's hard to play with friends old and new, so I asked if the dragon could come and eat too. My mom wrinkled her brow and squinted her eyes, looking up at the dragon's incredible size. I begged and pleaded, then said very sweet, "We won't make a mess, we'll be tidy and neat." So at last she said, "Yes, just this once I'll agree. You may have a dragon come over for tea." We had carrots and apples, thick slices of ham, with fresh homemade biscuits and strawberry jam. Cold glasses of milk and a great big dill pickle, but the pepper we sprinkled sure made my nose tickle. Then the dragon's nose twitched and he started to wheeze. His eyes misted up and he blew a great sneeze. Achoo! Well, we all know what happens when dragons sneeze. Flames shoot from his mouth and both nostrils too. Our tablecloth sparked and then bursted into flames, and the curtains that hung right beside them did the same. The smoke alarm rang with a loud piercing sound. It meant, "Get out fast," so I dropped to the ground. The room filled with smoke as I crawled to the floor, and I started to make my way to the front door. The dragon got scared and decided to hide, but I knew when there's fire, we must go outside. I grabbed his thick tail, and with one mighty tug, I pulled that big dragon from under the rug. I crept down the hallway and said, "Follow me. I know the way out. We must meet by the tree." My mom and the dragon and I met there. But then that silly old dragon went back for his bear. We ran up and caught him and wouldn't let go. And I said, "Listen, dragon, here's what you should know. We never go back. That will just not do. We can get a new bear, but we can't replace you." Since the fire was burning inside our home, we went to the neighbors to borrow the phone. Mom knew what to dial and said, calm and clear, "Here's our full address. Send the fire trucks here." Before very long, down our street they came sailing, with bright red lights flashing and loud sirens wailing. The fire crew rushed to start work on their tasks. They were dressed in big boots and wore helmets and masks. They hooked up the hose and ran into the house, where they sprayed streams of water in order to douse the table, the curtains, our lovely snacks too. And it didn't take long till the fire was through. The fire chief called out the door with a shout. The smoke made a mess, but the fire is out. My poor friend the dragon knew he was to blame, so he hung down his head and wept great tears of shame. One of the fire crew said, "Don't be sad. You knew what to do, and for that we're quite glad. You all got out safely. That's really what matters." Then she took us to see the big truck and ladders. The dragon put on a shiny red hat, and I asked to see where the fire crew sat. She showed us the siren, the hoses, the lights, and the ladders they climbed up to reach higher heights. The rest of the fire crew checked all the rooms, while the fan in the door blew out gray smoke and fumes. Then the dragon and I sat down for a while. I reached up and hugged him. He gave me a smile. The next time the dragon and I want to play, we'll pack up a picnic and go to the bay. We are friends, tried and true, the best we can be, but I'll never again invite dragons for tea. So this is a really fun story that is about dragons, and it also teaches you a little bit about fire safety. So in the story, the little girl, she knew what to do when there was a fire. When there was a fire and the smoke alarms went off, she knew to get down low and to crawl outside and to go to her meeting place and dial 911. But the dragon, he did not do everything right. He got scared by the smoke alarm and he hid under the rug. And if there's a fire in your house, you should never go run and hide. We want everyone to get outside and go to their meeting place. The other thing that the dragon did is when he got outside, he realized he forgot his teddy bear inside. And he tried to go back in to get it. But you need to remember, if you're outside where it's safe, you never go back inside. So, one thing they told you about in the story is we can replace your toys, your blankets, the things in your house, but we can't replace you. So remember, once you're outside, stay outside. And at this time right now, a lot of people are at home in their houses, so it's a good time to really practice your home escape plan. Check out our Facebook page on the Cloquet Area Fire District. We have some good tips on how to practice your home escape plan. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed.